Hi everyone! First off, I apologize about the hair. I'm gonna dye it later, so it's gonna be red. Going red. And if you didn't notice, I got a new background to kind of liven up the place. I like cherries. Yeah. So, today I'm gonna show you a fun little thing. Well, I have a lot of fun with it. It was like I was in arts and crafts again. Turning your Coastal Scents palettes or any other palettes into magnetic palettes.
And now I have to tell the truth, y'all, because the devil is crossing me. Oh, devil, you may be a handsome one.
Now there's two ways that you can turn your Coastal Scents palette into a magnetic palette. Now when you buy the Coastal Scents palette, it's about $7 on their website. I'll put a link over there. It comes like this with the eyeshadow pans. Okay. Now these are aluminum pans. Now some of them have magnets on the bottom already, which you have to use steel pressing pans. I personally like to use the aluminum ones. So the only problem is that, you know, when you put the pans into your Coastal Scents palette, they're not going to stay because it's not magnetic. I found an awesome way to make this magnetic very easily. First off, you're going to need your Coastal Scents palette. Second off, you're going to need some of these little magnets. I don't know if you can see that very well. These come in a pack of 40, and they're in these little squares that you can pop off, and they have a stickum, and that you can get them at Michael's. And next you're going to need, I got this at Orchard Supply Hardware. You can get them at Home Depot, Lowe's, anywhere hardware store. It's a piece of metal. It's a really thin piece of metal. They come in big rolls. What you're going to want to do is find the thinnest metal that you can find, and make sure it's not aluminum. You can bring a magnet with you and stick it to it. If it sticks to it, then that's the kind you want. This thing was twice as big, and it cost me a whole 65 cents. I think I should have gotten a discount. So what you're going to need to do, there's two ways you can do this. You can either, if you don't want to take out, this comes with a little foam thing right here. If you don't want to take out the foam, don't want to risk messing it up, what you're going to want to do is cut little squares, 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch, I think, about that. You're going to cut them into equal little squares, and then what you can do is, I have one right here, cut a little square. What you're going to want to do is get some double stick tape. You're going to cut the double stick tape, put it on the back of here, peel the little sticky off, and then what you do is stick it onto there. Then what that'll do is it'll make your palette or your pan stick in there, but mine's not sticking in there because it's not glued down. But see, the little steel piece is sticking to it. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it, because I don't like looking at all these little squares in there, I kind of think it looks a little tacky. I did it with this palette. If you can see, all these are shadows, and I put it underneath the foam. I measured it, and I'll give you guys the measurements. It's this big. If I can get this tape right, that would be awesome. About 5 3/4 of an inch, maybe like a millimeter more, by 3.5 inches. Maybe a millimeter less, like half a millimeter less. Okay, so then you cut it out. Don't use regular scissors unless you don't want the scissors anymore, because they're going to be ruined. Now the foam in here, it's stuck by this sticky stuff. It's not glued down or anything. I found the easiest way to get it out, you want to really carefully remove it. But I go from, on the edges first. You want to get your finger up in there and go all around the edge, lifting it up, and then you do all these little ones. And it'll eventually pop out. You want to do it really easily. I already took this out, so it's still a little sticky. And it's sticky, and you have a blank palette. Now what you're going to do, you're going to take this, it should fit perfectly in there. You're going to take your double stick tape, like that. You peel the little stickums off. Yes, I said stickums. Okay? I don't know if you can see that, but they're on the back there. Then what you're going to do is put it in the bottom there. Like that. So it won't come out. Then you're going to want to put the foam back on. Now there's a little notch right here. This is going to go in the front because there's a little notch on the bottom there. And it still has sticky stuff on it, so it'll stick pretty well. Just want to line that up and try to get it even in the case and press it down. And you have a magnetized palette, but it's not quite magnetized yet because the steel isn't magnetized. So that's where those little magnets come in handy. So what you do is you want to put it on the back of your little pressed shadow, like that. They do kind of hang over the sides a little bit. I think you can get round ones, I'm not really sure. Woo. And then all you gotta do, put it in there, and it won't fall out. Magnetized palettes. I find this to be the more fun way. This was like total arts and crafts for me. I thought this was an awesome idea. I saw another girl do it this way, and I was like, wow, okay. And it doesn't really raise it that much if you're concerned about that, because it is a really thin sheet of metal. That's why you want to get the thinnest kind you can get. Also, the magnets you want to get, you want them to be really thin. These ones are like super, super thin, if you can see that. So I hope this helped you. For any of you who are looking at how to make your palettes magnetized, find it pretty awesome, and you don't have to spend the extra money on the magnetized palettes. You know, even with the magnets and everything, it's still cheaper than buying a magnetized palette online. So, hope this helped you out. Bye! You're going to want to put the foam, press your eyeshadows and your mineral eyeshadows, which some people have a hard time pressing the mineral eyeshadow. Well, I shouldn't even talk about that. Okay, so and press it down. Damn it! I f***ed this up.